Welcome back to the Single Parent Nation podcast. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with Mr. Orlando, who is our incredible guest, whose journey is nothing short of inspiring. With his 36 years of experience in the medical industry and 3 decades as a dedicated entrepreneur, he has built a lasting impact in the world of health and wellness. For the past 22 years, he has successfully owned and operated a thriving business in the health and wellness industry, helping countless individuals lead healthy lives. But beyond his professional success, he's also a devoted husband of 17 years. Wow. And a loving father of five and a proud grandfather of six. He was also raised by a single parent for a period. So, Mr. Orlando, welcome to Single Parent Nation podcast. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And thank you very much for having me on your podcast. It's
Thank you
truly
so
my
much
pleasure.
for being our guest. So, tell me about your experience of being raised by a single parent. So, you said you were raised by a single parent for a short period.
Yeah, for a short period. I was raised by my mother for the first 3 years of my life. And I know many of us can remember, your life from 0 to 3.
Yeah.
But it's an innate feeling that you have, especially with your mom and knowing who your mom is, and
Hmm.
just that love that is there naturally. My the first 3 years I can remember nothing but really joy, and even after those 3 years, my mom got married and entered a stepfather to my life, and so life began then. And I can just to give you a little about my those early years. I can start to pick up memory around about 4 or 5 years old. When I noticed that this man was with me, or in a home with me, and I was actually being not necessarily being forced, but coerced into calling him father or daddy.
Hmm.
And I just with something within me as a young child, I just could not do that because I didn't feel that connection. I didn't feel that was real, and I can't explain it. But if anyone has been a single, I mean, raised by a single parent in the earlier years, I guess it was just that innate connection to a father. I just didn't never felt this person was my father. And I didn't know any different being that young, but I really did know that different. So
Hmm.
um and as this person entered my life, or my stepfather entered my life, um I still kind of felt a disconnect there, and felt like there was a separation, as far as how I felt I was treated, versus how my mom treated me. And I could really see and feel this when my brother came along, and he's actually 3 years younger than me. So
Hmm.
when he came along, then me growing up as a kid, you can start to see some of the differences in how this father would respond to his biological son versus how it would respond to me.
Hmm.
Nothing extremely bad, but you can
There's a
notice the
difference.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can notice that difference.
Hmm.
Um, and so life my mom paid more attention to me. It was kind of like separate. The stepfather paid more attention to his biological child, and my mom paid more attention to me to make sure that I was feeling the love that I need to feel as a young child.
Hmm.
Um, Fortunately for me, I did have an uncle or uncles in my life. My mom had three brothers at the time, and then I had an uncle that was married into my family
Mm-hmm.
that gave me the model or displayed the model of the man that I had always been taught and learned about. He displayed the model of that man. So I kind of gravitated to him more
Mm.
so than the stepfather that I had in the house with me.
Mm.
Yeah, very interesting. So,
Yeah.
and for him, he was a very strong model, and if I had to, I would give him all the credit for being that person in my life or being that man in my life. They say, when you're looking for success, find the model that you want to follow. And this man, everything about him, he was a man of few words, but when he spoke, everyone listened.
Mm-hmm.
He never spoke out of turn, and everything that he spoke was really, realistically, a learning piece for us, a learning nugget. And
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to absorb every nugget that I possibly can in my quest to become a man.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So your mom, so there was a difference between that stepdad versus his actual son. Did your mom pick up that vibe?
We have, to be honest with you, as of this day, my mom is 83 years old, and we have never really discussed that. Uh, but I am sure. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm sure, being a mom, a loving mom, that she saw the difference, that she somehow and oddly understood it. And
Yeah.
as I grew up to become a man myself, I understand.
Mhm.
I give it understanding.
So that's probably why she balanced like
Yes,
attention with you, right? Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
So let me ask you this, like if let's say I'm a single parent and I'm single,
Mhm.
and let's say I met somebody, what would your advice be on that introduction or transition?
Um, I would say first, the understanding between you and the person that you met has to be of such that loving you means loving all of you, and that is along with your children.
Mm-hmm.
And to start there and gradually introduce this man to your children, and just watching and kind of allow an organic relationship to build within them.
Mm-hmm.
If there's going to be,
Yeah.
if it
That's
happens, it's nothing that can be forced, because I do feel in earlier years for me, it was tried to be forced upon me.
mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And the more that it was forced, the more I pulled back and the more I
Yeah.
resented it,
It's
because I had no understanding behind it. You're telling me something that I don't believe and I don't feel, and you can't force me to feel a certain way about anyone, unless the person organically builds a relationship with me.
right. So there was that resistant barrier.
Yes, there
Yeah.
was. Coming from a child, you can't force a child. Everything with a child, and what I have learned with children, everything with a child has to be organic, because
Yeah.
everything is a feeling for them. They have
Yeah.
to
They
feel
sense
it.
everything. They don't know, but they sense it.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. That's our God's given gift, shall I
Yeah.
say?
Let me ask you this. Do you think, or should I say, how does being raised, I mean, the point when your mother raised you by yourself as a single parent, you were young, so you don't have much memories. But my question is, how has it shaped you as a father being raised by a stepdad? Like, you were like, I wouldn't do this with my kids, and I raise my kids differently. Was there that moment?
Yes, I did running growing as a man, and when I started to have my own children, um, and started to have my own experiences with children, it gave me more understanding as to what my stepfather as an adult may have felt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, so I was seeking that feeling, seeking that knowledge, seeking how that would feel, not necessarily even from my end, but from his end.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, there's three sides to every story, and everyone has a story,
Yeah.
and it goes back culturally, goes back to how he was raised and how I was raised differently. So
Mm-hmm.
some of the what I viewed not necessarily as mistakes in raising my children, uh, I'm gonna say opportunity that I didn't get as a child,
Mm-hmm.
and that I can notice when I noticed the deficit when I had my kids. I took it as opportunity to maybe do better, to do things in a different manner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I will say this, that no matter, and as I grew as a teenager, me and my stepfather, as any other child or a young man to an adult male, we had our challenging times.
Mm-hmm.
And again, even through those challenging times, by the end of his life, we became best of friends, because
Mm-hmm.
now I understood him more as a man when I had my own experiences with children, and my own experiences as a man.
Okay. Amazing. And even like as a parent now, like if you were supposed to do it all over, there would
Yes.
be some things you would do differently, right?
Well, with my children, with my raising my children, um, I'm gonna honestly say no, there's nothing that I would do differently raising my children. From how I was raised, yes. But of course, I didn't necessarily make the mistakes that my stepfather may have made with me being a stepson to him. I made completely different ones,
Mm-hmm.
in raising my children. Um, but I I wouldn't go back and change a thing in raising my kids, because raising my kids, I was also learning.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will tell you, and what I've learned, is that you all, as you raise kids, your own personal kids, you're learning yourself, and we should be, as parents, we should be learning ourselves. Our
Mm-hmm.
kids gives us a chance to live life again, just in a different position.
Different lens.
Yes, through
Yeah.
different lenses. Yes, but now that I've raised my kids, and all of my kids are doing well in life, but the most impact that I see that I can make is with my grandchildren.
Mm. Mm.
I've learned now, and with my grandkids, I'm yeah, yeah, I get a chance to do it all again.
What was it like raising five kids?
Ah.
I can't imagine. I have two, and two girls is a lot for me.
Well, first I must say, out of those five kids, I have four daughters and only one son. Now,
Mm.
that may have been the most challenging part, but again, um, I, I I saw opportunity. I saw opportunity to learn, to actually raise a woman, to
Mm.
see every stage that a woman goes through organically. And in that, it gave me such a massive higher level of respect for women, starting with my grandmother
Mm.
and her teachings, being able to see why my mother made some of the decisions that she made as a woman.
Mm.
Even my wife, to understand her even more. My daughters taught me all of that. I was actually able to see it from inception, from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
until now, seeing them come into their own as women.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful thing. My son was easy. I'm a man. I can teach him, give him the model to follow as a man, the same model that I followed. He's
Mm-hmm.
doing very well and has done very well. But that was the easy part. It was raising the girls that was my biggest challenge. But I wouldn't trade that, none of that for the world.
Let me ask this. What's the difference between raising girls and boys?
Boys are simple.
Mm.
Um, Boys are simple from start, and they boys always they remain simple. You can pretty much know what a boy gonna do because he's simple. He's repetitive.
Is it
Girls,
because you're a man, you know how the boy is thinking or what?
yes,
Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. That has a lot to do with it, and that's a God's gift. To be able. That's like having a time machine. I'm here. I know everything that they're thinking before they even think it. Girls, on the other hand, always you're dealing with organically. Women are emotional.
mm-hmm.
They have to be
They're more emotional.
way more emotional,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Oh, well,
Because it
we have no
because it gives
choice.
us balance.
Yeah, we have no choice because God gave us emotions,
Absolutely,
male and female, but women are more
way more.
um or instincts are more sensitive.
Okay,
So we come off more emotional.
I love the way that you just put that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it before you said it. You have a very good eye, and I'm sure it's because you are a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Yes, women are their instincts are just heightened,
Mm-hmm.
and we view it as being emotional, but that's what it is. Their instincts are heightened, and it's because they carry out kids. They carry life,
Yeah.
and they have to be. And that's God's gift. That's the balance.
Right. They're more in tune because,
Yes,
like you said, they carry a human and
yes,
so they're in tune with that human from
yes.
inception, right?
Inception.
Yeah,
Yes,
until delivery and even after delivery.
yes. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Oh yes. Carrie, to me, from what I've seen, and not to get off subject, but from what I've seen and what I've experienced, the easy part is carrying the being,
Mhm.
watching it grow. That's it's an amazing feeling, I'm sure, for a woman to have that happening to your body and inside you internally, and the connection no man will ever understand. But I respect it.
Mhm.
But my wife always says having children and grandchildren is like having your heart walk outside your body.
Hmm. I never heard that one.
Having your heart walk outside of your body.
Hmm.
And every person tries to protect their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a very, very powerful statement that she's always carried and always spoken. Having kids is like seeing your heart or having your heart walk outside of your body.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Um, I know I've asked you this before when we spoke about the difference between raising a boy and a girl. So I don't know what it's like raising a boy because I have two girls.
Mhm.
And the response you gave me was sexual identity. That was a difference. Can you break that down? Because I have to tell you about my recent experience.
Okay. Breaking it down between a boy.
Yeah,
When,
when
when
you said to me sexual identity, because it never really like hit me, like I'm like, what does he really mean by that?
the sexual identity
Yeah,
um,
boy.
of, of a boy.
Yeah.
Well, again, raising a boy is I'm a boy. I was a boy. I think a lot of times what parents do, we forget, or we go into a denial state when we start raising our kids, because we in many instances try to raise them different from how we were raised. We're
Mhm.
always trying to perfect and improve, even though we turn out well in some instances. We try to raise our kids perfectly, and there's no such thing. And
Mhm.
me being a man, to raising my son, it was so easy that, oh, so it wasn't as challenging. So I will say I didn't pay attention to him as much as I did the daughters, because I am a man, and I knew what he was thinking. I thought I knew what he was thinking. I thought I knew what he would feel. I was a sensitive young boy, and a sensitive that became a sensitive man. So I pay attention to the sensitive things and experiences in life. Well, my son was too, and when he displayed that, I didn't try to pump him up and say, be a man. I allowed him to be in touch with the sensitive part of himself, sensitive side of himself, which is important for every man, to be in touch with that part of himself and
Mhm.
not see that as a weakness, but to embrace it, because that becomes his strength. Just because a person cries doesn't mean that they're weak. It
Mhm.
means that they're more in touch with, the sense that it's okay to cry. We all should cry to cleanse our soul.
Yeah.
But in raising my son, I may have missed some opportunities with him, because I felt it have to pay that close of attention to him, because I could guide him real easily, because I was a man. I was raised in a very strong, disciplined community, disciplined environment, especially being a classic of the '60s.
Oh yeah.
Uh, um,
Oh,
and
don't worry. I'm an 80s baby and I got it.
yeah, yeah.
Especially in
So
the Caribbean.
yes, oh yes, oh yeah, you got it. Yes, yes. But and I pretty much raised my kids the same, with that strong, disciplined foundation.
Mhm.
Um, but again, just raising a son, personally, I think I may have missed some opportunities there raising him, because it was so simple. He was a real simple kid. He never got in trouble. He was pretty much a straight A student. I never had to discipline this cat.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, I never had a discipline. I knew him. He was more like his mom as far as the hard part, because she's all heart, she's all love. It's a good balance for me. It's taught me some things, but it's also why raising him taught me some things also. But a woman raising a man
Mhm.
is probably just would be as challenging as a man raising a woman. We could do it to a certain
Extent.
extent.
Mhm.
We can only do it to a certain extent. But where it cuts off is usually when they are going into teenagehood, when they're trying to figure out who they are, their identity.
Right.
And a woman can't give a man his identity.
Mhm.
A man can't give a woman her identity, no matter how much and well I try to tell her, you're a beautiful queen, you're pretty, you're this, you can be, you're gorgeous. That's not giving her identity, and a
Yeah.
man can't do that.
Yeah.
So that becomes for parents, that becomes our opportunity to learn and grow. When a parent thinks that they are raising their child and that they have all the answers, that's a battle we are going to lose as a parent.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say you were raising a girl, right?
Mhm.
It's to an extent. Is that extent because you're just being a father raising her, but then when it comes to like certain things, like you know, when they go through puberty, it's like
Mhm.
they need a woman, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because it's like you don't know how to communicate
Mhm.
those phases to her, right? That's what you
Yes,
mean. Okay.
that
Yes.
is that is exactly what I mean.
Yeah,
You
and I
got it.
get it because I have girls and it's like preteen and teen, and it's like
Yes.
all of a sudden they're going through puberty. They're wondering why this, and they start to look different, shape different.
Yes.
And you know, it's uncomfortable for a man to answer those questions or explain, right?
Yeah, it's for me it wasn't uncomfortable. Not necessarily uncomfortable. I was learning it myself.
Yeah,
So I can't teach them something that I'm learning myself.
right.
I can't teach them their identity because I'm not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we go wrong. When a man think that he can give is a daughter's and their identity, he can't. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a woman to be able to do that. It's
Right.
the model that they follow. The model that they one thing about kids being organic, one thing about kids, and I say this all the time, kids actually hear what they see, not what you say.
Mm-hmm.
They hear what they see, meaning,
What you do. Yeah.
yes, bingo, what you do.
So
That's
like,
how they,
so I never understood what you meant by sexual identity until, you know, my experience, my recent experience. So, you know, I told you about my youngest, she doesn't speak in public. They label it as selective mutism, right? So
okay.
she doesn't speak in school. And it's tough for her going to school because the kids don't understand. They don't know why she don't talk. Like, why don't you talk? You know?
Mhm.
And it took a long time for her to make friends because
Mhm.
they don't understand her.
Mhm.
But she had connection with, you know, a few kids over the years. But now she just started middle school, new teachers, you know, new kids. So now she goes in. It's hard for her because the anxiety is high, right? Very high. And so eventually she made one friend. And so this one friend would be on the phone with her all the time.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to be the ass to say, hey, get off the phone, because I know, you know, she don't have any friends and it's just
Mhm.
this one friend. But my motherly instinct picked up something, and I had a conversation with her before the end of the year. And I said, look, I don't mind you having a friend. I'm not trying to come between that, but the phone, you know, you got to get off the phone at a certain point. Like from the moment you get home to bedtime, it's not good. And then I picked up from the little girl, she always wanted to be on FaceTime. And I picked up some other things like peer pressure, you know, like she'd be like, oh, I'm going to Target. And she'd be like, oh, get this, get this. Why don't you get it? You need to get it for me, you know,
Mm.
that peer pressure bully kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so I had a conversation with her. I'm like, do you know what peer pressure is?
Mhm. Mhm.
And, you know, I explained it to her. And then I also picked up something that I don't know why I picked it up, but I guess it's just that motherly instinct. I'm like, look, so, you know, you've seen gay men,
Mhm.
right? But there's also gay women.
Mhm.
And I said, it's hard to identify
Mhm.
a gay woman than a gay man, right?
Mhm.
And I said, I just want you to be aware of it.
Mhm.
Like, you can be on the phone, just be careful when you're on FaceTime. Sometimes you forget you're on FaceTime. right? So if you're going to change your clothes or whatever, just be careful. And I said, I want you to be aware of that. And we got deeper into the conversation, and it was weird because this was December 2024. We're in January 2024. Well, no, just February, right?
Yep,
And
that's very well.
she came to me a week ago and she was like, "Oh my God, mommy, guess what?" And it was both of them. So she was going crazy in her room, and the other one, my older one, she heard her and went and was like, "What's going on?" And so she explained to her, and then the older one was like, "Oh, you gotta tell mommy." So they both came to me and they're like, "Oh my God, guess what?" So this little girl was expressing to my daughter that she likes her. Like, I like you, I like you. Like,
Yes,
so
yes.
my daughter was like, "I like you too, but just as a friend. And I don't know what you mean by I like you." So she's like, "I like you, like you, like you." And then she was like, then the girl, they had a conversation going on, and then she's like, "Oh my God, if my mom sees this or my sister, I'm going to get in trouble." And she's telling her to delete the message, right? But anyway, they went on and she's like, "Oh, and I have something to show you." And she's like, "What do you have to show me? And I hope it's not nothing bad." I think she picked up, her instinct picked up something too, right? So this little girl wanted to show her breast. And she was like, "I'm glad that even though, she doesn't speak, she speaks, she thinks for herself, and she speaks, even if it's through text message or writing, because she writes to her teachers, she still speaks her mind." So I'm proud of her. And I never actually knew what you meant when you said sexual identity. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yes,
Man, you
and
never
and
know.
on the
You teach me a lot, but you never know, okay, I don't need this, but you never know, like in the future when you may need something, right?
absolutely.
Tell me, like, I think it was a decent time
Yeah.
to talk about that, especially since my instinct came up. But like, at what point do you think it's wise to talk about those things with your kids, whether it's sexual identity, sex?
To be honest with you, I actually started teaching my daughters when they were like 13, 11, 12, 11, because all of them, they're like um, 13, yeah, 13, 12, 11. I started teaching them around that time, but the way that I started was that back then we had encyclopedias. So I started teaching them or letting them read about their bodies, how
Mhm.
their bodies were made, and um, the functionality of their bodies, and I taught them through letting them read through the encyclopedia. Um, and just start to learn the content about your body. You need to before you can love anyone, you must first learn to love yourself.
Mhm.
So I started teaching them around 13, going into the teenagehood, because I understood going from a child's uh, playing with dolls
Mhm.
to a teenager, it was going to happen cat quick, and it's going to happen way before they have understanding about it. So I
Mhm.
wanted to start teaching them, and I taught them together as three. I taught them together so that they would have the same be along the same learning curve with it.
Mhm.
Um, I started there when I started to see, and you notice that your daughters now are standing in the mirrors and they're concerned about their hair, about their
Mhm.
nails, and things of that particular nature. That's society.
Mhm.
This is how society has structured it, you know. And today it's even worse.
It's
The,
worse
the
because now you have all these social
social media.
medias, and these women are doing so many different things to their body.
Yes.
And your kids are looking like, my chest doesn't
Yes.
look like that.
Yes.
My back doesn't look like that. Like, what's going on, right?
Yeah. And because my body doesn't look like that, am I beautiful?
I'm weird. I'm
Yes,
not.
I'm weird.
Yeah.
Yes, and what I don't like about today's society, but I know it's something that we got to live through is uh, our kids are through social media
Mm-hmm.
platforms. Our kids have are able to get be exposed to things, to information that they don't even understand
Mm-hmm.
way before their brains can even comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, and I learned this from my granddaughter. She was 8, 9 years old. She's 11 now, but she
Mm-hmm.
was 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 years old, and she was talking about watching the Kardashians. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, what do you know about watching the Kardashians, and why are you watching the Kardashians? You don't know what they're talking about, but it's the beautiful part. They're talking about being beautiful, what you should look like as a girl, as a woman, and how just how they're structured, how the body's structured. So of course, that's what she wants to do. She want to be beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what all young girls want to be because that's what they're taught. They want
Yeah.
to be beautiful. And it's worse today. But when I was
Right.
raising my daughters, when they started in the mirrors, I knew it was time then to give them some content about themselves to help them identify and give them some identity about who they are. And you don't have to. You're beautiful. You're going to be beautiful because you're a woman. All women are beautiful. No one is made the same. No one's
Mm-hmm.
going to be made the same. But
Mm-hmm.
in your own skin, you're beautiful. Just
Mm-hmm.
be the best that you can be, the best of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so to answer your question, when they start to become aware, and you know those subtle changes when they start to become aware, when they start wanting to, not necessarily wear makeup, but they're concerned about how they looks, their looks. They want to dress this way, that those are the times to start talking, sharing information with them, or giving them their sexual identity.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't give it to them organically, social media is going to give it to them.
Right. Oh yeah. Because they have access to so many different things.
Absolutely, they have more access to our children than we do.
Yeah, I told my kids, I said I didn't have internet like you
Yes,
guys. Like my internet was you said it, the encyclopedia.
there you go. That's
I had
it.
to go to the library, get the big
That's
book
it.
and read and skip through and write. Like
That's
we
right.
had to write everything. Now you type everything.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let
But
me ask
yeah,
you this. How did you give your kids, because you had both boys and girls, as
mhm.
an elder, how do you talk to both boys and girls, boy and girl, about relationships?
That is an excellent question. Um, I would not. That's a line that I didn't cross, and this is why I didn't cross that line. My wife told me that I would never. I can't tell. You can't tell a woman. You can't tell a person who to love
Mm-hmm.
because what you see, they may see totally completely different.
Mm-hmm.
All I did with my daughters is tell them, try to be the model that they will want to have in any man that they decide to date. From early on, all of my daughters will always tell you that when they were with me, they never had to. If we went out to dinner, and I've done this as my daughters have become adults, I take them out to dinner. Of course, I pay for them dinner,
Mm-hmm.
but more importantly, I don't let them get out of the car till I come around and open the door for them. I never let them open the door around me. I
Mm-hmm.
cater to them. And that's just how me being a man, it's just, and I know in today's time, the 50-50 rule, everybody should do their part. Um, but what I tell them, first of all, you always want to be in position where if you have your own. I taught them to always have their own, always be
Yeah.
independent. So you never have to ask. You
That
never
was,
want to, because nothing's free.
if it's the one thing I know my parents taught me, especially my dad, is independence.
That's right. Got to teach them that from the rip.
Yeah.
Then, but secondly, the person that you're going to spend your time with, they've got to also display. They got to show you. If you have to tell me how to love you, I'm not the person for you.
Yeah.
If you have to tell me how to love you, I'm not the person for you.
That's true.
I So yeah, and those are the things that I would tell them and teach them, and whoever they brought around me, I'm a presence. So they brought somebody around me, and my girls know me. I'm going to sit and talk and have some conversation with whoever the person is, so that they know that my daughters come from this model. So, you got to be this, you got to be this or better, at least be this or better, and we're going to, and everything for me is about respect. This guy is respectful.
A
Things
certain
that particular nature.
expectation.
Huh?
A certain level of expectation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I never would try and tell them who to love. But I'm also, I'm the person with my daughters that, you can do make your own money. You can do whatever it is you want to do, but I don't have to support you. You can do whatever it is you want to do, but I don't have to support you. That's down to your dating. You can date whoever you want to, marry whoever you want to, and I'm going to be okay with it because I've done my best in trying to guide you to what may be a good partnership for you, giving you the model as to what a good partnership will look like because of how I interact with your mom. Giving you a good model. I think I've given you a heck of a model.
Yeah.
If it's not like this, it's not real. That's what you want. You need a partner. You need something real. Now that's not saying that you're gonna. It's not saying a whole lot. I mean, your relationship is going to be what it is, but as long as you keep each other keep respect in your relationship. You respect him, he respects you. None of this drama crap, because none of that should be worth your time.
Right.
Just teaching them giving them those nuggets.
So
Just a guy.
So for me, as a single parent, right, raising two girls, if I was supposed to talk to my kids about boys, relationship and stuff, what would you say I should touch on? Like, what are the important points?
One important point is, I'm going to start with you, is being honest with them. Don't paint no false narratives.
No, I'm very raw with my kids.
That's right. That I was very raw with mine too, and I gave it to them for real, because if you don't give it to them, real life will show them. Start there, but once you start there, start. I'm gonna say start anything that you do from that point. If you're doing it from an honest place, you can't go wrong. Tell them how it was for you with your sexual encounters, or what you start with, how you're going to feel as a teenager. You're going to start to feel this. You as a woman, the best person, can't nobody else tell them, and won't nobody else be honest enough to tell them. But if we're going to raise them in a healthy manner and give them a healthy chance, these are the conversations that we have to have. And it don't have to be that challenging. Just be real with them. I used to say that I'm going, if my daughters ask me, whenever they ask, that means that they're ready to know the truth. They're ready to get the answer. Now they can comprehend it. But when we just go start telling them things, and they may not be ready, they're not going to receive it because they're not ready to comprehend it yet if they don't ask. And my daughters will, I created a platform for them, for all of us to be honest with each other. I was raw. I wanted them to be raw.
Mm-hmm.
I told them the truth. I wanted them to tell me the truth.
True. Yeah.
That's what they did. Even to this day, I have conversations with my daughters and their husbands and their boyfriends. We have those conversations about it. I never I never say negative things about their boyfriends or whoever they've chosen. What I talk to them is about how relationships go,
Mm-hmm.
the truth of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, at the end of the day, no matter what you view the issue is in your relationship, you want to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to be happy.
Okay.
You want respect.
Yeah.
So if that means that if we can do that together, cool. If we can't do that together, then we can as long we can walk away. Everybody can walk away and be happy. You're good.
True.
I Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. So, um, let's say I'm single, right?
Sure.
What would your advice be as an elder if I'm looking for a relationship, a long-term relationship? What are the things you would advise me on?
A single mom is
Yes.
what you're asking me.
Mhm.
First thing I would say is don't rush yourself.
Mhm.
Be patient with yourself, and patience is something that becomes challenging.
Mhm.
Um, but be patient. Allow a person to show you allow a person to show you who they are, and allow a person to be who they are so that you'll know who you're dealing with.
Mhm.
A lot of times when I'm gonna say when we're meeting people, everybody go into this dating mode. You got to put your best foot forward. And what I,
Presentation.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Let me scope her out. I want to kind of see what she about, and I want to show her what she shows me that she wants. But that's not necessarily me.
Yeah, so I hate that question when people say what are you looking for,
That's
especially
right.
a guy. That's
That's right.
just that's just them replicating the representation.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. What are you looking for?
Yeah,
And for a period of time, I'm going to be that
see that until,
until I'm not.
3 months or so, it's like a different person. Like, what the
That's
hell?
right. That's right. That's right. No, I used to say, even when I was younger in my teens, man, I would say I heard something say, you never know a person until you put them in a compromising position. And let me give that some context. You're dating someone, or you meet someone, you go out to dinner, you have a nice little time. You don't pick up the phone and call them the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even pick up the phone and call them the next 2, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
You call them when you feel when the feeling is there. You call them.
Convenient. Yeah.
Now, how they respond to you is going to tell you a lot about them.
Mm.
Oh, man, we went to dinner Saturday. What did I do something wrong? Why, no, why we just not talking? I called you, I text you, you didn't hit me back. All you gotta do is listen to them. They'll tell you everything that you need to know. I'm like, oh, so that means that it's something that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You're something. You have an expectation of me. You have
Mm-hmm.
an expectation of just this little simple dinner. You have expectations. That's not it.
Mm-hmm.
When a person has expectations of you, go the other direction.
Red flag.
Red flag. And people, I don't know if people don't know that, or I think people let their own agendas get in the way of allowing themselves to identify that.
Yeah.
If a person has expectations of you, go. No one on the face of this earth can live up to someone else's expectation, because you know what reality is, we majority of the time can't even live up to our own expectations of ourselves.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to live up to an expectation you have of me? I should have called you the next morning. Yeah,
Especially if you
I
never,
I, t-
if it wasn't
I took
cold.
yes, I took you out to dinner. You know, you don't remember that lobster you had? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. You could at least call me the next morning and say, hey, oh,
First of
yeah,
all, a real man would
that's
text
right.
text her a call and say, "Did you get home safe?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make sure she got home safe. And it's
So
like a, wonderful evening. We'll talk shortly. That's all.
right. Yeah, I agree with you. Like
Yeah.
me, I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I've been married, I have kids. I would love to have another kid, but it's like I'm okay if I don't.
Okay.
And so I'm not in a rush. Somebody just asked me that question, why am I single? I'm
Ah,
like, choice. I'm
yes. It's
not,
choice.
I'm not settling.
Yeah, there's no need to settle. Why
Yeah,
settle?
and there's this thing that people need to recognize the difference between loneliness and wanting to seek a lifetime partner. Because if you let loneliness take over you without awareness, you'll end up in the wrong relationship or wrong marriage.
Every time.
Mhm.
Every
Yeah,
time.
but that was so good though. Thanks for being vulnerable on those topics.
Yes.
But I wanted to step into, what you do with the health products. So I already know what Noni is because I knew it from way before you.
Back when.
And
Yes.
even when I went home in Jamaica for summer last year, I went to the beach and there was a noni tree and one fell on the floor. And I picked it up and I was like, I think I asked you this. I'm like, the fruit is actually white, but the
Mhm.
juice is purple.
Mhm.
So tell us about, what you do and your products.
Okay, real quickly. Noni, you mentioned that the fruit is kind of white.
Yeah.
That is true. The reason the juice is actually purple is because they flavored it with grapes and blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
It's 89% pure noni, but pure noni is very unpalatable, especially if it's for the people here in the United States, never tasted seen or even heard of a fruit like this. It was very unpalatable. So it was flavored with 11% grapes and blueberries, because they found out that grapes and blueberries help to enhance the iridoid content, and iridoid is the molecule in noni that actually gives it efficacy, makes it do what it do.
Mm-hmm.
uh and but the blueberries and grapes actually enhance that iridoid molecule. That's why it works so. That's why the brand Tahitian noni juice works so well.
Mm-hmm.
Noni is a medicinal plant, and it was used by the Polynesian uh, voyagers for the last 5,000 years. They use it for food and medicine, and especially in the French Polynesian. And when it was called, it was known as a, I think, a green plant, meaning that when they move from island to island, it's certain plants that they would take with them to grow in a place where they're going. And noni was revered as the one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you take this with you, because this sustains. Medicinal plants actually help improve life.
Mm-hmm.
Fruits and vegetables that we know, it just helps to sustain life. But
Mm-hmm.
in order to improve it, you need medicinal plants.
Right.
Now, there's many medicinal plants on the face of this earth. We're learning about a whole lot of them today.
Yeah.
And that industry started back in I'm gonna say 1993. It started with noni. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until noni was mass produced here in the United States by my company.
Mhm.
that people even knew the term superfruit even came about. You never heard it before 1996.
Mhm.
So Noni started that entire multi-billion dollar industry. After that, people were started looking around for medicinal plants. The one edge that Noni has on every plant out here, every medicinal plant ever found, the one thing that Noni has is the molecule in medicinal plants that actually give it its properties is called iridoids.
Mm.
Noni has the biggest molecule of iridoids. Like it's about like this in some plants, but Noni's is about like this. The biggest iridoid content of any medicinal plant. That's why it works so well. And iridoids are molecules that work on a cellular level. Anything that works on a cellular level is good for your overall well-being, your overall body rebuilding,
Mhm.
and that's why it's so powerful. When I first came across this, I've always been interested in health since I'm going to say since the early days and watching my grandmother live with us, and she took herbs, to reduce her blood pressures and things of that particular nature. I saw her boiling something called yellow root and drinking
Mhm.
it. Heck, I even tried to drink it myself. Just things of that particular nature. So I got it from her. And at the age of 10, she became diabetic, so I was having to give her insulin shots at the age of 10. And that experience further helped me to put me on the path that I did not want that to happen to me. I refused it. It wasn't going to happen.
Mhm.
So I've always been health conscious all my life. And um, I started, it wasn't until 2003 that a friend introduced me to this Noni,
Mhm.
and the experience that I had with it and my mother, I became an advocate for it. And it's nothing else out here, nothing else that and I've tried many things. It's nothing else out here that has given me for the last 20 years, given me the sustained energy, um, just the sustained health that I have today.
Mhm.
And if I have to contribute it to anything, it's been Noni. Noni for me. That's the only thing I stopped when I started with drinking Noni in 2003, November 2003. I've never had to put anything else in my system because it helped help balance my body. And people don't understand how important it is for your body to be in natural balance. Now you can go to the doctor and they tell you that your vitamin D is down. We're going to give you vitamin D pills to take, but it's a certain amount of vitamin D that your body needs. Only a certain amount. We don't know what that certain amount is because it's different in everybody. Noni, if your body makes its own vitamins through what we consume.
Mhm.
For me, Noni is just that it's that one nutrition that balances my body out. How do I know this? Well, I do a blood panel every 3 months. And if
Mhm.
you if you at my age, if you saw my blood panel, you'd be like, God, dog, everything can't be good. Everything is in balance.
Mhm. That's good because even at my age,
Yeah,
people take doing surgeries or have so
yeah,
many diagnoses and taking all these medications.
yes.
So that's really good.
Absolutely, it's perfect. It's perfect. But I was sweat by it. And I started my mom drinking it 20 years ago. Also, she was my first customer, and because of her, that's because of the results that she was having. Um, haven't gone through breast cancer, um, diabetes, borderline diabetic, borderline having to be put on dialysis. It's having gone through all of that. And today, being 83 years old, all of it dissipated. All of that went away. As she
Mhm.
got older, 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you, or to tell you. And the only thing she used natural, the only thing my mom used natural is noni. The only thing.
Yeah.
And it's because I gave it to her. And I make sure that she has it every month. And I make sure she drinks 8 ounces every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, we all, the one thing that is sure, we're getting older every day.
Yeah.
We're young. When you're young, you don't necessarily think about those things. We don't have experiences, not many experiences in our lives that we pay attention uh, to help us understand you are getting older every day. And
Mm-hmm.
our health today has become like a light switch. We can be feeling good today, but tomorrow we can be out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Silent killer, that's what they call blood pressure. Silent killer, you never see it coming.
Yeah.
Well, lots happening, with the consumption of the foods, the processed foods, the sugars that we're consumed with, and sugars in everything that's processed that we eat today. I don't care how healthy we try to eat. If you didn't grow it in fertile soil yourself and pull it out of the ground today and eat it, you don't know what type of nutrients is in the foods that we eat. We've been sold
It's true.
a bill of good.
Yeah, the food that we're eating is not providing us the nutritional value that we need. And
Absolutely.
also, even if you take these supplements, these vitamins, it's not what the label says it is.
No, no.
Yeah.
Especially if it's mass produced, no. That's why I've always I know the difference and learned the difference in the private company selling the product. If a company has one product and its livelihood is in this product, so this product has to work. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't mass produce. You can't mass produce a lie and people continue to purchase it over and over and over if it's not working. People are not going to do that.
Yeah. And also, if you're like, I grew up in Jamaica, so everything we
Mhm.
say fresh and
Mhm.
natural.
Mhm.
In America, they say organic, and it's like organic.
Mhm.
That's a money making word.
And that's it. It's just wordplay.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be fresh and natural, right? But
It's supposed to be.
yeah, so it's like I'm eating, and I had to give myself grace and mercy because I ended up switching to an American diet, especially since I moved to Atlanta.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm like, hold on a second. For like 2 years ago, I was like not feeling like myself.
Yes.
Like I'm eating, but I'm just tired all the time. I don't have the right energy. Then I started gaining weight, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's
Mhm.
going on?
Mhm.
It's the food. It's the
Mhm.
food. Like eat a piece of bread in America and then eat a piece of bread in Italy and tell me it's a big difference.
Complete different.
It's a big difference. Like
Yes.
just just for me to eat a small piece of bread here, I feel bloated.
Mhm.
I just feel stuffed. It's different. So I think it's the food that we're eating is not providing us the nutritional value that we need.
Absolutely.
My question to you is, so I was listening to something the other day and it said that it was a doctor, it was a podcast, and he says that your first brain is actually your gut.
It is. That's it.
This is actually a second.
I guess it depends on who you ask. Our first brain is our brain, but the gut is our second brain by
Right.
far, because the link between your gut and your brain, we don't understand the significance of it. I learned, yeah, we through Noni, I have learned about it, and it's almost laughable when you come into this type of information and knowledge, and I understand what all of the issues is. They said back 2,500 years ago, Socrates, I think, made a statement that all disease
Mhm.
begin in the gut.
Mhm.
All, not some,
Everything.
all disease begin in the gut.
Yeah. So that was gonna be my next question because whatever you eat feeds your body.
That is correct.
So I know what the benefits are of noni. I just want to to let the world know, like, what are the benefits of noni?
Uh, the one I'm going to tell you the strongest benefit of noni, and you know, I started drinking it before I even knew what the benefits were, so my body was already uh, happy about it. The strongest benefit of the no of noni is it does just that. It it supports your body to do what the things that your body is naturally supposed to do, and that's to heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
Noni helps to cleanse your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Noni helps to put your gut back in balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing that you do, not a whole bunch of different things that you do. I'm gonna do this for this. I'm gonna take this for blood pressure. I'm gonna take do this naturally for cholesterol. Noni, there's one thing. Noni does all of that because it works on a cellular level.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that works on a cellular level is good for helping the body to rebuild itself. Now, the body naturally, every part of your body naturally rebuilds itself 1 week, 3 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, 3 years. Every part of your body rebuilds itself. But the problem is if you don't have the right nutrition in your system, your body's rebuilding itself on garbage, which means that your body is breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Known as that one nutrition as your body rebuilds itself. Known as the nutrition that your body needs to support rebuilding good cells. It's just that simple. Do I think that everybody need to take it? Sure. It shouldn't be in every household. It should.
It should be a
Be-
part of your budget.
It should. It should. It has to be. If I'm going to, the one thing that I said to myself, now I'm a person at my age, I'm on no medicines now. None. Zero. No
Mm-hmm.
medicines. And people say, well, you got good genes. That's a bunch of, yeah, back in the day, you might could say that. Not today. Because I eat pizza, I eat ice cream, I eat everything that you all eat because I've been an American all my life. In my history, my family history, there's diabetes, there's heart disease, and now there's cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all that's in, there's no reason why I should be as healthy internally as I am. There's no reason why, because I ate the same thing my parents ate that put them in that position. I did everything that I was in the same environment that they were in. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that I changed miraculously as a gift from God, the only thing I changed was drinking on it every day. Thank God it came. I just thank God it came to me. But they say if you seek anything, you're gonna find it. Just
Yeah.
be prepared for it when it comes.
Yes, so that was what I was gonna ask you, like how often should it be taken?
Every
Because
day.
yeah, yeah. And so it's just like you say, if you were sick and you went to the doctor, they gave you antibiotics, you had to take it that course, that
Mhm.
21-day course or 14 days or 7 or 10 days. But this is every day because it's giving
Right.
you the nutrition that you need,
That's it.
that your body needs. Right.
Exactly. It's that plain and simple. It's the nutrition your body needs every day.
And so for you've been doing it for a long time. Can you tell
Yes.
us like one or two experiences you had with people who used it?
Yes. Let's start with my mom. My mom had was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. True story. The first thing she decided to do was have a mastectomy to remove her left breast. Her decision, mom, let's go for it. And I don't know what attributed to the breast cancer. I mean, my mom smoked, and I tried to get her to stop smoking for years, ever since before I was born. Yeah, it was cool back then to do it in your 50s. So she been smoking ever since. Mom, you got to stop smoking. Okay. So when she got breast cancer, she stopped. She had 2 weeks after being diagnosed, she had her breast removed. Um, my company put out a book on knowing how much to take and when to take it. Um, and in that book, it has something called a cancer cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the cancer cocktail mentioned drinking a bottle of noni, one full bottle of noni, 33 ounces, for 4 days. Drink a half a bottle uh, for the next 8 days. And then after that, for the duration, drink 8 ounces a day. Well, I put my mom on that before she went into surgery. She drank a bottle for 4 days. I had her drinking a half a bottle for 8 days, and then she went to surgery. So when she went to surgery, she was 70 something years old. She went through the surgery with flying colors. No
Mm-hmm.
problem. Came out surgery good. A month later, we went to her surgeon, and what I was not only you can drink, ingest it, take it, drink it, but you can also use it topically. And being in the book, it also spoke about how to use it topically. You saturate a gauze pad and adhere it to the wound, and that's what we did with my mom. So by the time in 30 days, by the time she went back to the surgeon to see how well it was healing, he looked at her and he said, in his office, he said, Miss Davin, Miss Bolton, you have an amazing healing factor,
Mm-hmm.
because it had healed up so well. So
Mm-hmm.
she looked at me, and she and I just looked at each other and we smiled, because
Mm-hmm.
I told her exactly what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
She healed up good. Well, to make a long story short, that was in 2017. It's now 2025. And my mom has been cancer free ever since. But she does, they had her taking, she took, okay, another one. She did do 12 rounds of chemo, but she did 12 rounds of chemo for 12 weeks, around each week. Very few people have I seen do that, because chemo breaks down your body. My mom, they said she would lose her hair within the first week or two. My mom then started losing her hair to 3 months later. She never lost her appetite. She never lost weight. She nothing. She was the same person, but she was
Mm-hmm.
drinking 8 ounces of noni per day. She was
Mm-hmm.
the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So she had none of the. It's a long list of effects that they side effects that they gave us. She had none of them. When she lost the hair after the 12th week, her hair started growing back immediately. And I'm going to say about 6 months later, her hair had grown back. And I have pictures of this. So this is my story. I'm telling you a true story. I have pictures of it step by step, because people would not believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only because of Noni. And then since we had her drinking so much of it, 8 ounces a day, it was a nutrition for her body. Then
Yeah.
now her doctor started taking her off diabetic medicine that she was pre-diabetic for the longest. Now they say you don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
She was taking 3 blood pressure medicines per day. I don't know why you're taking 3 different ones. Then all of a sudden they took that down to 1, and that
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure is better than mine. They took her off aspirin as a blood thinner, because Noni, of course, has your blood right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very happy, very. We all gonna die, but the
Yeah.
thing about it, we want to at least live our lives
Sure.
gracefully,
Mm-hmm.
and she's doing it gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it gracefully, because when everything is right internally, it shows externally.
Mm-hmm.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I see some people that I went to school with, and I'm like, good Lord, you look like my grandmother, my grandfather.
I say that now.
We went to school together.
Yes, the people from my high school are people who growing up, and I'm like, damn, what happened to you?
And their internal health is what's happening to them. See,
Yeah,
we can lift weights all we want to, build up these muscles, man, have it looking good, but internally we shut
internally,
out,
things could be
shut
going
out,
on. Yeah.
completely shut out. So that was one. And then, of course, me having open heart surgery 5 years ago was another story. It's countless. I got hundreds of stories. I've
Yeah.
heard people being in ICU on their deathbed, given 2 weeks to live. somebody snuck a bottle of Noni in, started them drinking it, and the lady that this happened to was there. She couldn't tell the story without crying because this stuff right here gave her life back.
Mhm.
And if you saw her, she's beautiful. You like, God, no, you was in ICU. She had some rare disease. It's amazing. See, it's amazing what the body can do, but
Mhm.
when the body has the right nutrition to support it,
Yeah.
and Noni is that right nutrition. So everyone that's listening to this,
Mhm.
get back in touch with this beautiful lady, Miss
So
Priscilla
that's what I was
Morgan.
gonna ask you. Because I need to reorder. If somebody wants to try it or they know about it, and because this is not in the stores.
No,
Yeah, it's not in the stores. And if you do find it, if you do find it, it's probably gonna be pricey or something. But
it will be.
where can they purchase it?
I'm going to have to send you a link so that you can put that link on
Yeah.
where they can go to get to directly to it from through you through our podcast here, where they can get the best discount that they can get with it. Definitely, they can link up with you, link up with me, and I'm all about it. Now, the mission that I've taken on. Noni is pricey,
Mhm.
but is for me it's well worth it. It's something that I budgeted for per month. If I'm gonna budget, I spend $120 eating dinner out somewhere.
Yeah.
You mean to say I won't spend $120 to bring up something in my house that's going to help me improve and keep me healthy? Oh no, that's a no-brainer for me. So yes, it has to become a lifestyle, a part of your lifestyle. It's not something. The myth is people think that it's this miracle, this miracle juice. No, it's not a miracle juice. We spend 30 years doing with these activities or doing what we do to break our body down. 30 years to break our body down, and all of a sudden you think there's something in one bottle, your health is supposed to turn around immediately. That's silly thinking. That's not how it works. But I will tell you, this stuff, Noni, Tahitian Noni juice, will definitely turn your life around completely, and it will help to sustain your life.
Yeah, I don't think it's expensive.
No, it's not.
And let me tell you why I don't think it's expensive. Because if you go to, let's say, CVS or Target and you
Mm.
purchase like multivitamins and all these things your doctor tells you to buy, it adds up. That's like close to $100, especially if you take it when you're supposed to, like twice a day or whatever. It adds up. It really adds up. So, to me, the noni should be a part of your food budget, because
Yes.
it is providing you, and you said this before, that sometimes when you're hungry, it's just because your body needs nutrition.
Yes.
You know,
Not food.
yeah, you don't necessarily need food, but the
That's right.
nutrition.
That's
Yeah.
right. Simple. Yes. And that way, what we've trained our body to do is that every time we feel we're hungry, we eat, we give it food.
Mhm.
And if our body's not processing properly, which a majority of our bodies are not processing properly, that stuff just hangs around. They say it takes 72 hours to expel one meal. That means my dinner today won't come out of my body until 72 hours from now if my body is not processing properly. When you eat a meal, you should expel one. That's how the body is naturally supposed to work. But that's not what our body does. And we're walking around sick. And every time we feel hungry, we're eating something. Well, you may not be hungry if you drink noni. You won't even be hungry. I can
Yeah.
go a long time. I eat probably one meal a day, and people like, "Why you starving yourself? You're a whole man. You need to eat." No, I don't need to eat. I'm gonna eat when my body it says eat, but I got my nutrition in me. I have my nutrition. listen, my blood glucose is 85 and it stays there, I'm good to go. I don't have these mood swings because I'm hangry. I have none of that.
Yeah.
None. Zero. Drink my water, drink my noni in the morning to fulfill my nutritional need for today. Drink water throughout the day. You know, yeah. It's amazing. This stuff is amazing. I call it the miracle in the bottle.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us as a guest and educating us on Noni. You were very vulnerable. You gave us some good insights, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much, Mr. Orlando. And I'll post the link for the Noni in the bio for this.
And I will say I will say that it has truly been my pleasure, and I am overjoyed that you thought enough of me to bring me to your platform and allow me this time to share some information. So thank you so very much, Miss Priscilla Morgan.
You're welcome, Mr. Orlando.
Good evening. Good night.